Yeah, there's music, Molly. There's always got to be a little bit of vibes going.
That's awesome. I was like, I'm liking this music, but I don't know if it's coming through my phone from some other app that I don't know is going on in the background, or if it's coming from Rachel.
Hello and welcome everyone to day 2 of the Packwalker Summit. My name is Andrew. I am this lovely lady's husband right here. I'm also the other half of the Healing Pack. Just want to welcome everyone for showing up today. This is amazing. Yeah, I just want to introduce Charles, who's going to be our speaker for today. And just real quick, Charles has pretty much been our leash supplier, I'd say from day one. And we have not used another leash product since then. He's incredible as a human being, and his product line is just second to none. We recommend all of our clients his stuff. But with all that said, I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to send it back over to Charles and take it away, my friend.
Thank you. So first, I just want to say thank you, Rachel, for inviting me to this and letting me come in and speak. I really enjoyed your presentation yesterday, and it's a tough act to follow. I didn't know I was going to be number 2. I figured everyone would kind of be in the groove of this, and I'd come on, and so it's a little bit more stressful doing it this way. I follow a lot of you on Instagram. A lot of you are my customers. And I just want to say thank you to everyone here, because I've learned a lot about dogs, and the information that you post has helped me to have a better relationship with my dogs. So thank you, everybody, for helping me to be a better pet owner and to have a better relationship with my pups. I guess I'll start off with talking a little bit about how I got started and what Mountain Dog is to me. I came from a traditional business background. I got my MBA, and unlike most of my classmates, I didn't want to go into finance. I didn't want to go to Wall Street. I didn't want to go do tech. I wanted to work in traditional manufacturing. I've got a real passion for domestic manufacturing in the USA. I think that's a big part of what makes America great. And the strong, well-paying union jobs are what really have in manufacturing are what have kind of built the middle class in America. And so I wanted to be a part of that, if only from a management level. So I was really excited to go into manufacturing. And out of business school, I ended up working for a big traditional manufacturing company, Ingersoll Rand. And I spent a decade working for them in various roles, doing operations and supply chain and business development strategy. And I really loved what I was doing. And in 2008, I got laid off. The business unit that I was working for got sold off to a Korean conglomerate, and they provided me with a nice severance package and said, have a nice day. So my wife and I didn't really know what we were going to do. And I was interviewing for some jobs, and none of them really excited me that much. So my wife and I decided to pack up and go to Mexico for a month and live in a tent and go rock climb. And we were down at Potrero Chico, living right at the edge of the canyon in a tent. And one of the local street dogs started following us around, started sleeping outside of our tent at night, and wouldn't leave. And my wife told me about the second day this happened, said, hey, I'm not going home without that dog. You need to find a way to get the dog to the US. So we adopted Jefe, the Mexican street dog, and he came back with us. And at the time when we were in Mexico, we didn't have a leash. So I chopped off the end of one of my climbing ropes and made a leash for Jefe. And when I came back, we took Jefe to a dog park, something I'd never do now. But when I went to the dog park with Jefe, people commented and said, oh, that's a cool leash. Where'd you get that? And I was in between jobs, and I said, I wonder if I could do something with this. And the original plan, to be honest, was not to do this for, a couple of decades, but was to do this sort of as a fill-in and maybe a side gig. And then I'd go back and get a job in corporate America. And, this would either be a passive income on the side or, something I'd quit doing. And after about 6 months, I said there was no way I was going to go back to doing what I did in corporate America. I was growing the business and making this work. And that was 2009, and Mountain Dog's been going strong ever since. It started in my garage, and the way that I developed the company at that time was I'd go on the road and I'd pick a city. I'd go to Atlanta and spend a week in Atlanta just knocking on doors and saying, hey, do you want to buy a leash? I make these out of recycled climbing rope. And it was a lot of fun, and kind of grew the business one dealer at a time. We were only making at that point a 6-foot clip lead. That was it. We didn't have anything else. There was only, and I didn't know about anything else. And to be honest, at the time, I thought, oh, slip leads are, they're mean, they're cruel, they choke the dog out. Again, didn't know a lot about dogs at the time, and you all have helped to educate me. But so yeah, I started the business that way, and we really wanted to go to independent. I wanted to go to independent dealers at that time. I didn't want to work with big box stores. I wanted to work with small entrepreneurs like myself, and that was the way that the business started. And we did really well. We grew the business. And in 2016, I got an email from Rachel. And I had she said, I'm a pack walker. And I'm like thinking to myself, I really don't know what a pack walker is. And I remember seeing an episode of The Dog Whisperer, and I think it was Sherry Lucas that was walking a bunch of dogs, and that I'm like, oh, she must do what that blonde lady did on Caesar's show. And so she told me what she wanted, and I started selling leashes to her, and that was a huge turning point for my business. From one dealer and almost selling no slip leads to now slip leads in one form or another make up 55% of the products we sell. And trainers and pack walkers represent just under half of the dealers that we have. So our business has really changed. You all are very much, a huge part of our business. And I never really thought this would happen. I kind of expected to go the brick and mortar route, and I wanted to build a national and hopefully an international network of independent dealers. And it's turned out that I'm selling a lot more product to people like you, and that's been great for my small business. You know, we when Mountain Dog started, really wanted to make this about three things: about domestic manufacturing, assembling stuff in the USA, making something that was high quality and earth friendly. So we use recycled climbing rope, and also provide a good level of customer service from the warranties we provide and the way that we treat our customers. And that's hopefully what we've continued to do. But as we've grown, we've had the opportunity to go to big box stores, and we get approached to do other products. And for us, it's always been, you know, trying to focus on what we really do well and not to branch off into other things that are going to distract us, and make really good tools that professionals like you all can use. And that's been our focus since pretty much, you know, since 2016, really focused on making these professional tools and building that part of the marketplace. And it's been really, really great. You know, since we started the business, there's been a lot of changes that we've seen. And I'm sure, you know, people like Andrew and Rachel that have been doing this for a long time, and others of you have seen this too. On the retail side, the changes have been immense. It used to be there was Petco, PetSmart, and then a host of small independent stores with one or two regional players, or in a city, there'd be one customer that had 3 locations. And that's drastically changed. There's been a huge influx of private equity money into the retail space, and there's been a lot of consolidation plays. And we've had numerous dealers that we did business with for 8-10 years. And all of a sudden I get a call, hey, we're not going to be working with you anymore because we've been bought by regional player XYZ, and now we go through their centralized sourcing. And it's interesting to see the change. And I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing for the business. I think a lot of those independent stores, like you all, that have a lot of expertise on what you do, a lot of those independent stores really were owned by people who cared deeply about pets, had a lot of knowledge about pet nutrition, and had a curated product offering that they knew about and cared about. And I've seen a shift in that, where a lot of times when you have these consolidation plays, the employees don't know as much about the product, and they don't really know as much about the food or what they're selling. It's just whatever a centralized sourcing, you know, puts in their store. And that's been a huge change, and something that we've really noticed. We've also seen a real change within the pack walking and training side of the business. And a lot of this has been really positive. We see people like Rachel, like Samantha, other people who have really been able to leverage at Sherry Lucas, that have really been able to leverage their knowledge and leverage technology to educate a much wider group of people. And that's been amazing to see. It's also good because they sell our stuff, and I like that too. But they have a real quality offering of knowledge, and they're educating people, and that's amazing to see. I think the flip side of it is you see some people in there who are really, really good at digital marketing and don't know a lot about what they're doing as far as the craft of, you know, training dogs, walking dogs, providing that service. And that's been interesting to see. It used to be when a trainer or a pack walker contacted me, these were people who were incredibly knowledgeable about what they were doing and the services they provide. And now sometimes I'm contacted by people who really, you know, haven't been to a seminar, haven't really done the work, but they know how to sell really well, and they have a really good ability to market themselves digitally. You know, and I mean, I think that's, you know, the advent of Rover. I think that's, you know, you see a lot of people who are doing pet sitting and pet walking and training through that app. And I mean, even within here in Phoenix, I see people on there who, you know, the local next door page or something saying, oh yeah, I walk your dogs and I'll train your dogs. And some of them maybe are really good, but I think there's a lot of disparity that we see now with the expertise in the marketplace. And that's been a big change that I've noticed. It's I think though the core community, like with you all, is sharing a lot of great information with each other, and something like this is a great opportunity to do that, to share information, to learn. And I think I'd love to see more of this. I think it only makes the community stronger. And I think from a manufacturer and a retailer standpoint, the more people that really understand how to interact with their dogs and are passionate about walking their dogs and spending time with their dogs, the more product they're going to buy. And I think that's a great thing. I can tell you, when I first got my dog, I didn't walk my dog. Now that I've got my newest dog, Larry, I mean, we spend 2-3 hours a day between my wife and I, getting Larry out, running him, walking him, training him. And, it's because of the lessons I've learned from you all. So, I guess that's all I had to say. I'd love to answer any questions, or I hope that was okay, Rachel.
Oh, I think it's unmuting.
Oh, 1 second. Strange. Let me.
Well, I'll just come to Andrew's camera because it's easier. So, I mean, for me, I was like, honestly surprised. Could I even love my leashes and my leash provider more than I did before this lecture? It was just really refreshing to get to know you on a deeper level and like hear about things that I sense, which was like your intentionality in creating this product. Like, I feel it when I use it. It makes sense to me hearing all this and how much went into it, like your commitment, the cool story about the rope, like just every little bit that you put into this business makes me that much more excited to get to use them. Like, feels good about sending my money there and just promoting you to build your business even more and for more people to use a really quality product.
Yeah, and something I'll add to that. Sierra says in the chat, I've had multiple of your leashes, and I'm a big fan. I agree. So with all that being said, what's next for you? Do you is there like a next stage of the company right now? I know you're a big proponent of like understanding like knowledge behind the use of slip leads, whether it's a clip-on lead or an actual like slip lead that you sell. Is there another phase that you're looking to step into? And you're muted, by the way, but you can unmute yourself.
All right. Sorry, I don't want to mute myself. So for us, I mean, we don't have any big plans as far as different products. We've been listening to the customers. I mean, one of the things that we've done over the last couple of years is start making longer slip leads that are hands-free. So you can do those crossbody, and those seem to be very, very popular for training. We've got a couple of trainers who are good at what they do and are popular on Instagram that are selling a bunch of those and that have made that really popular. We also wanted to expand internationally. We have a distributor in Japan, and we've actually been getting out past our Japanese distributor. We've been contacted by various local people in Japan that want to sell our product, and that's huge. I lived in Asia for a while, and I love Japan. Spent 3 years of my life living in Japan, and would love to grow that market. And that's a community that's really passionate about dogs. There's not dogs aren't as common there, but the people who have them are absolutely passionate about having well-behaved dogs, taking care of their dogs, interacting with their dogs. So that's been a big thing. And moving into Australia and New Zealand has also been something that we've been working on. We've got a couple of different people that purchase our product in down under, and we'd like to continue to grow that market too. So for us, it's more of an idea of how to keep growing with the products we have, listening to our consumers, making sure we keep doing the right things with the products that we sell. You know, there's always the temptation, hey, how can I value engineer this product? And I saw that so many times in corporate America. You know, can we make the heat shrink just a little bit thinner and save, you know, an extra, you know, 5 cents a leash? And can we outsource the aluminum clamps that we use inside to someone offshore and get a little bit less out of it? And we want to continue to use the same quality products and continue to make them just in the same way that we have been in the past. We don't want to change that and mess with the recipe. We feel like that really works, and we want to continue to do that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I really appreciate the care that you put into your products. And case in point, it's funny, one of my good friends, he just recently adopted a dog, a very strong dog, and he shoots me a text last night with a picture. And it's this, you know, generic leash that he got with the leather, like there was like a leather clasp that connected the actual leash to the clip-on, and it just completely snapped in half. And he goes, do you know anyone that has, like, you know, sells a good leash? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. Yeah, I love recommending your stuff, man. It is it's some of the best that I've come in contact with, and I just love seeing you grow, and I love just like how much you're so intertwined with other colleagues that we know of, that, you know, just seeing your praises. And if whoever's on the call right now, if you haven't had a chance to check out his stuff, it's Mountain Dog Products. Highly recommend giving it a look. You can pretty much find anything that you need when it comes to leashes. And maybe you can say a little bit more on this. Can you customize a leash, like different lengths, if someone wanted to? Is there only like a one size fits all?
So we do all of our own manufacturing here in Phoenix. We've actually got a factory where we build product in-house. We're not buying product from a manufacturer offshore and slapping our name on it. We're not outsourcing different pieces of the labor. We actually build this in-house. So we can do any size or any you know, configuration that you can come up with. And you know, one of the most recent products, the hands-free slip leads that we've started to sell a lot, and the longer slip leads, those were things that, you know, I didn't come up with. Those are requests from customers saying, hey, I want this longer leash. I want a longer slip lead. There's a way that we can use this tool in training. And that's been a big driver of how we've, you know, I don't want to say innovation, that makes it sound a little bit like I'm doing rocket science, but the way that we've adjusted our product and come up with new stuff. So
I love that. And I think that's what kind of like sets you apart from, you know, the generic leash brands is, go ahead.
I'll put one other story out there. One other thing about our manufacturing that I'm super proud of. So we had a horrible time finding and retaining employees for a long time. Leash making, I know it's a surprise to you, but leash making is not a glorious profession. You know, it's not incredibly stimulating. It's not exciting. It's making leashes. It's cutting rope, clamping rope, melting heat shrink, tying little knots. So we had trouble finding people who really wanted to work and who would, you know, treat the product with care and really do the type of manufacturing we wanted. And a few years ago, through a series of connections, social connections, we ended up getting hooked up with the local African community. There's a large group of African refugees that live in Phoenix. They're from Tanzania, Burundi, Congo. I didn't even know where Burundi was on a map. I had to go look that up. But they're all refugees that are here in Phoenix. Phoenix is one of the places that they send the refugees because of cost of living and other things. So we got hooked up with them, and almost everyone that works in our facility at this point is from Africa. Many days Swahili is the most prevalent language spoken in our factory. And it's been great. That's been a huge part of our growth is having a workforce that's willing to show up, that we trust, that does quality work, that really cares about what they do. And for us, being able to partner with them and to work with them has been amazing.
That's incredible, man. I really appreciate you sharing that. That's like such a beautiful story, not only for yourself, but also for, the community that, you're supplying jobs to as well. And for anyone else on this call, you have the power to unmute yourself, ask questions. If you want to ask questions, feel free to sound off in the chat. But yeah.
I have a question. Hi, Charles. I have a lot of clients that are actually climbers, which is pretty cool. So they're always curious. They're like, where is the recycled rope coming from? Is that something that you can share?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started the business, I had a pickup truck, and I'd go to climbing gyms. Whenever I'd go to a city, I'd go to the climbing gym and I'd say, hey, where's your rope? What do you do with your rope when you're done with it? And I was getting truckloads of this and piling it in my garage. And then a big part of what at the time I did was cutting the rope, putting it in an industrial washing machine and cleaning it. And I quickly outgrew that. That wasn't really a sustainable business model. And we were running out of room. So we work with two major rope manufacturers, Maxim and Sterling, and we get all of the remnants from their manufacturing process. So when they make this stuff, they've got these big looms that they use to weave the rope together. And they'll make 2,000 meter spools of this. And at the end of it, when they chop everything up for sale, there'll always be 15, 20, 30 feet left over. No one wants a 30-foot climbing rope. It's absolutely useless as a tool. I see someone nodding up there. So yeah, I mean, so it's absolutely useless as a tool, but for us, that's gold. So we get these giant pallets filled. It's called a Gaylord. It's like a pallet on top of a box, filled with anywhere from 700 to 1,500 pounds of rope. And it's like a jack-in-the-box. We open it up. We never know what's going to be in there. And it's always a great variety of stuff. And then we chop it up into pieces and turn it into the ropes we use.
Cool. That's so awesome to know. And the whole story behind it. I used to climb. I don't climb anymore, but I was like, my guess is one of them Sterling, but I didn't know what the other one was. So
yeah, so it's Maxim. And they used to go to market as New England rope. And then it was Teufelberger is the parent company that bought them. And sorry, I've got a cat too.
What's that cat doing on here? No, I'm just kidding.
I love cats. So yeah, so that's who we work with.
Super cool. Thank you. Good to know.
That's amazing. And one other thing I wanted to mention, do you still is there still like a warranty for these leashes? Is there, yeah, can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so everything's guaranteed unconditionally for life, even if chewed. So if you sell your leash to a customer, you get a damaged leash, the leash gets chewed, you can let me know and we'll provide you with a replacement for that.
That's amazing.
And we've been doing that since we started the business. We've never denied a warranty claim. So we work with everyone on that.
What is everyone doing? Do you not hear how great of a value this product is? Like, my God, that is so awesome, Charles. And again, just we love you. We love your story. I'm so glad that you are part of our lives and the others that you've also touched during your journey here. We love to see you grow. We're going to keep continuing to reference you and promote you. And yeah, if anyone else has any questions, feel free to pop in. Feel free to unmute.
I want to chime in.
Yes.
Yeah. I just have to say, really, customer service is your business. I mean, your product can be one thing, and if your customer service is, lack thereof of anything, that's an instant, okay, I'm done with you. And I have to say, I'm 3 years into the business, so I'm a very fairly new trainer. And I was very nervous to reach out to Charles to start placing orders with him. And, he said, hey, yeah, let's do this. So he sends me all of his stuff. And I think I had one question and I had emailed him, and I'm telling you, this man hops on the telephone to speak to me. And when somebody goes that next level, and I'm telling you, I'm not these big Instagram follower people. I'm not, bringing in bulk orders for, so for him to take the time to jump on that call, to me is just, that's putting you at next level. And so the customer service just speaks incredible volume. The product itself speaks incredible volume. I will say here, I live in Joshua Tree. It is like the climbing capital of California, I'll put it, I guess.
I
So
love
we have
Joshua Tree. Love Joshua Tree.
well, let me know if you're in town, my friends. So we do have a couple of other businesses out here that make leashes out of climbing rope as well. And when I'm telling you, I put your leash next to theirs, there's no comparison. I can't think of what it's like. I don't know, Walmart to Gucci. Maybe that's not a good reference, but you can see the quality when you look at it. And so to know the backstory makes it even just that much more special, because I'm going to be sharing this with my clients as well. And so I just have to say that your customer service alone speaks so much volume about your product. And again, me being a new person and reaching out to you to get my leash orders, yeah, I think that's incredible that you take in these, us little guys here and throw us in with the big guys, and there's no, like, we're all here is how I feel. It's not, so yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Those are really kind words. I really appreciate that. Obviously you're not one of the customers that had to wait 2 weeks for a leash. So thank you.
No,
So-
I just have to wait for my orders.
So one thing also I'll say, when the pandemic happened, that was a really scary time for my little business. And, there was a couple of weeks where literally the phone didn't ring. And I'm sitting at home with nothing to do. I'm, wondering how I can apply for a job to work at the Amazon dungeon and, fill packages for Amazon. And I was scared to death. That was it. That was the end of the Mountain Dog journey. And then the phone started ringing again. And we really dynamically grew after the pandemic with everyone adopting the dogs. But during that time, we had a lot of issues getting rope. We had a lot of issues getting everything we used to build the leash, the heat shrink, the aluminum clamps. And some of you waited an incredibly long amount of time for your orders. We had one customer, Bria Trio over in Boston. It was her first order with us, and she waited 6 months for her first order. And now she's one of my best customers. She buys from me all the time, but I always joke that, I wouldn't have waited that long. So, so anyway, so thank you all. I mean, I've got a lot to be thankful for the way the community's treated me and the way you all have been patient and worked with me as we've gone through growing pain. So thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Really appreciate you, man. All right, everyone. Well, that pretty much wraps up our time for today. Just want to again thank Charles from Mountain Dog Products coming on, just sharing your story today. At about 6:30, at 6:30, we're gonna have Maria and Matthew. Maria's from Stellar Canines, and Matthew is Akira Packs, and they're going to be discussing how they integrate their packs together during their walk. Maria, do you want to do a quick little blurb, or you just want to wait till 6:30? Good to see you.
Yeah, we are so excited. Good to see you. We'll talk about working our pack together. Have a fun story to share about it. Do a little intro about ourselves as well.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, we very much look forward to that. And until then, guys, take care. We'll see you in a little bit. Have a good one.
See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.